All right, good morning. Welcome back. It's game time, man. Big day. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. Morning, Byron. Byron. Doc. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Morning, morning. How we doing? Morning, champs. Welcome to the welcome to the arena. Pile in to the arena. Yeah, it's the same. Thanks, GT. I'll change that. Appreciate that. Yeah, I got to change the little logo. Played MW3, dropped to 30, huh? 30 bomb? Damn. How you doing? Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna get the streams going soon. It's coming. Yeah, that PC case is the one that, yep, you can put the touchscreen. I just got that yesterday. And yeah, you can put the touchscreen right here. But I was like, I didn't need it, man. I didn't need it. The Arena. Z-Liner? Yeah, I don't know if you watched them. If you do watch Doc, if you watched Doc, Z, and Timmy yesterday, Z was putting on a show. Z was putting on a show. All right. Yeah, I feel like if you have the touchscreen, you're not going to use it, right? Who's touching your PC? What's the point of that? Timmy Tendies. The Shoddy Boys. All right, looks like we got some Doc people in the chat. Yeah, what a great, he's so funny, man. He definitely is an entertainment for me on a daily basis. All right. Welcome back, my friends. Welcome. So, today is a day that I'm excited for, man. I've had a pretty nonsense week, right? Just really have not gotten anything going this entire week, which is, right, if you look at your trading year, big picture, right, you're going to have those weeks. So it's one of those weeks for me. I've done a really good job of protecting last week's gains because I had a really good last week, a hot start to the year. But this week has been pretty much nothing. I've basically done nothing but play defense. I've been wrong on a few things. I've been right on a few things, and I really just haven't gotten any momentum on this week. So I'm looking forward to today. I'm looking forward to, finding some opportunities today. I closed out of all my trades to make sure that I come into today fully cash, right, ready to go. Whatever play there is, I'm ready to take it. And so I wanted to come in today with nothing in the pre-market, right? Just comfortable, watching, getting ready for the move, getting ready for what happens today. That was my plan. So, yeah, that's my day today. Do I share all my trades live? Yes, I do, Harv. I share every single thing I do live. And that's, right, that's not, and people that join need to understand that I lose money too, right? When people join the Discord, I lose on trades too, right? When you trade everything, when you actually share everything, guys, people take losing trades, right? Anyone you watch online is taking losing trades. So I take losing trades, right? I've been on the wrong side of some things this week. And so that's that, right? I'm just there to share, and I'm very open with that. I think people appreciate it, and I don't care to talk about it because, to be quite honest, it's a lot easier just to share everything you do than to hide things, right? It's so tough week for me, right? Tough week for me. Some really nice setups, right? Nothing against the market. The market, when you look at it back in hindsight, I know it's fully my own fault for not catching some of the setups that were out there, right? It's my fault. And so that's a big thing as a trader that I want to make sure you guys do too. You need to accept when you do it wrong, right? It's not the market. It's not manipulation. It's not bullshit. It's not fuck the market, right? It's your own fault, right? And you need to be able to own up to that if you want to improve in the future. So that's that, right? That's that. Good thing that I've done this week, and probably the most important thing that I've done this week, is I haven't lost any money. That's the key, right? I've been able to keep it within reason while being wrong, right? And so that is the key. So that's my week in a nutshell. But today's a new day, and we're gonna get after it. And I'm ready to see some action. Action. We want action. So that's my trading week so far. Just to sort of wrap it up in a nutshell for you guys, just to give you an update on everything that's going on my week. But today, CPI, we're having it live. F it, we'll do it live. And that's today at 8:30, so in about 23 minutes. So let's get started. Let's jump right into it. Here we go. Economic calendar. Bam. So, today, 30-year, 30 year as well, but CPI first. CPI, 8:30. You guys can see right here, core CPI month over month, year over year, unemployment claims, all at 8:30. This is big. This is big stuff here. So, watch this, right? Of course, that's why we're here. We're here to see what CPI does in about 23 minutes to see how the market reacts. After that, after CPI, you're going to have the market open. Then you're going to have the 30-year bond at 1 o'clock. This is, again, probably a pretty big event today, all right? Something to be paying attention to. Will probably cause some volatility. Definitely caused some volatility yesterday on the 10-year. The 10-year bond auction created volatility yesterday. I would assume the 30-year does the same, all right? So CPI, 30-year bond, and then tomorrow PPI, all right? And that's that. Nvidia, what a monster. Let's jump right into the futures. So, the key level yesterday was our intraday was around this 16,890. It was the level that held, pretty much that led to that late day upside. But let's zoom out and get a little bit of a more fuller picture here. So, the level that we are trading into right now, where we are right now, this morning, is these highs right here, right? This 17,050, that is the high that we have hit this morning, and we're seeing just some short-term, right, rejections. Doesn't mean much, but that is the level that we are watching today to see if we can get over potentially on CPI. If we get over this 17,050 level on CPI and we hold above that, you are going to trade probably into these highs, right? The 17,130 highs, the 17,165 highs. All right, so 17,050 is the level to see if it can break on CPI. If we can break that, all right, if we can hold over this, we're moving higher into probably these highs right here. All right, and then you're probably going to see that strength come in. So that's big. 17,050, that's our level right now in the immediate term. Okay, on pullbacks today, the first level I'm watching is this 16,940. That is this low here. That is some previous highs here, some previous consolidation here. And if I go down to the 5-minute chart, we can see there was a little bit of a hold there, right? Late day yesterday. 16,140, 16,140. And so this is going to be one of my first levels to watch for that potential demand to step up, around 16,140. Below that 16,140, I'm watching this. This is a pretty major level here around that 16,890, right? It's not perfect. It's not exactly 890, but it's that general area where you can see if we go to the intraday yesterday, this was a very key move intraday yesterday, right? We had that morning rejection around that 16,890, 16,890. You could push it up to 16.9 if you really wanted to. It's a zone, right? It's not going to be a perfect level. It's always a zone. This is 16.9. You could push it up to 16.9, right? But I sort of like you can see it's all in here, right? It's not perfect. You have some demand that stepped up down here, right? You have some demand around this 16,850, right? In this general zone, right? But it looks to be generally around this 16.9, 16,890. You have this previous high here that turned into a double bottom low yesterday, right? Right here. previous highs, double bottom low on the intraday. So if we do get a pullback to that level today, all right, if we do get actually, I want to put a level here. If we do get a pullback, right, to this level here, this 16.9, you can see support yesterday, rejection in the pre-market. This, again, could be another level to watch. All right, so we have our 17,050. All right, that's number one. We have our 16,940. We have our 16,009. All right, that's our two demands below. And then the major one that I'm watching is right in here, and that's that 16,850. Now, the 16,850 is, I think, one of the most important levels today because that is the Tuesday highs. And you can see here that Tuesday high at 16,850. Look at what the NASDAQ did pretty much all afternoon, right? The NASDAQ broke 16,850, rejected the 16.9. So we got our push into supply. We got our rejection. And we came back and held the previous day high, right? We came back and held the previous day high. So that's going to be a big level right there. That's 16,850. If we do get downside, right, you still need to be watching. That's 16,850 right here. Very important. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. So we have a few levels to watch, right? We definitely have some levels to watch on the downside. We have one, 16.9, right? We have this, 16,850. That's another important structure level. We have that 16,940, which I'll go back and show you in a second. And then we have this, the 16.8. And the 16.8 level, one second. Let me readjust here because the 20 SMA is here too. I forgot to have that on the charts. So 16.9, that's on your charts today. 16,850, 855, that's on your charts today. And right here is the big boy at 16.8. Right? And where did the NASDAQ hold yesterday? And where was I taking majority of my short side trades yesterday, taking the profits on them, taking some risk off, was at the level we were talking about in the morning, that 16.8 demand, right? Look how perfect the NASDAQ held this previous demand from the day prior at that 16.8. This is Monday's highs, Tuesday's intraday lows, and yesterday's lows, right? That 16.8 was a beast of a hold yesterday, causing that upside move. So this is a big boy, right? This 16.8 is a big one. And so if we get some CPI downside, let's just say we get some downside today, 16.8 could be an interesting level to watch for a demand hold and potentially some opportunities long off that 16.8. We have the 20 SMA right here at our 850, right? 850, 800, 900, right? Those are my three levels that I'm watching to the downside today. Those are big. You have here, here, and here. You have here, here, and here. And you have here, here, and here, right? Some very key reactions on the intradays at these levels. So big watches on those. Now this level right here, this 16,940, if we go out to the hourly chart, the reason I like that level is because what I've seen in the past at this level, you can see right here, this little area, this 16,940 area, this 16,940 area, right? You can see we had some previous support at that 16,940. So that is why I do have that on my charts. And if we go to that 940 level from yesterday, we can see we had some reactions at that 940. We had a hold, we had a rejection, we had a reclaim, and a hold into the futures market, right? And so that 16,940 is another one that I'm going to be watching. Okay? Now, if we don't get any pullbacks today, right? If we don't get any of these opportunities long on pullbacks, right? Then we're just going to, and CPI just shoots us higher. Again, 17,050, 17,130. Those are my two levels I'm watching to the upside. All right. So we'll reassess this, right? I don't want to go too in depth here because we're going to have to reassess this in about 15 minutes when CPI is released. But for now, those are the levels I'm watching. QQQ. We're back to our 4010. 4010. You guys know our 4010 level. And here's why. Previous highs, previous high, previous lows, previous rejection point highs, right? And look at where the QQQ is holding above today. So, if the QQQ is above 4010, we're moving higher, right? We're moving higher. 410 on the QQQ, a very key previous level on this chart, right? Look at all these reactions at 410. And right now, in the pre-market, look at what the QQQ is doing at 410. It is holding it perfectly. So, if the QQQ is above 410 today and continues to hold, right, you're going to see upside continuation. Upside continuation likely takes you, right? It likely takes you up to these highs, this 413, right? If you really hold this 410 and the market's strong, you're likely moving into those highs at 413, right? And then over 413, you got juice. If you break under 410 today, right? If you break under that 410 on CPI and you get back up into it and start to reject it, right? Then you're rejecting where the entire downside move started last week. The entire downside move started last week on a rejection of 410. This was right here the key thing that happened, which created that downside move. It was the rejection of 410, right? So you can see we had 410 and we had a key rejection of 410. And after rejecting that level, we saw that downside. So today, right, if we get back under 410 and start to see rejections there, there could be some weakness at that level. A weakness at that level, in my opinion, comes back down to around this 407.50. Now, the reason I like 407.50 is because you have that low right there, right? And if you go to the 15-minute chart, you can see right here, 407.50, 407.60, previous highs. And look at what it did intraday yesterday. It was the perfect hold yesterday. So 407.60s, right? 407.50, you can see previous highs, previous lows from yesterday. So if we do break below that 410, that's likely where the QQQ is going to try to trade down to. And this could be, right? This could be a demand level to watch. Under that, you got your 20 SMA, 405, right? 405 is big time. Previous lows from Tuesday, yesterday's perfect demand hold at the 20 SMA, right? Look at how beautiful that was yesterday. QQQ, 405, 20 SMA, perfect wick holds in the morning, creating that upside move, right? So, 410, 407.60, 407.50, 405, right? Big levels below. If you start to break under these, right, this could structure down. If you start to pull back to these could be your long spots to be watching, right? You could watch this previous hold. You could watch that 20 SMA for that pullback opportunity. 405, 407.60, 410, okay? You probably got this might not be exactly 60, guys. This one could be like 407. It could be 407.40s, 30s. It's all in this general zone, right? It's never going to be a perfect level, but it's all in that general zone from where this previous high and low was, okay? So those are my downside levels. Now, if we zoom out on this hourly chart, I believe the only way that this gets where pressure starts to come into the downside is a break under 405 in the 20 SMA, right? This move would be the only move, right, that makes me think that things are potentially flipping. If we break back under the 20, back under this previous high at 405, then things probably could start to flip a little bit, right? Under that 405 area, back under the 20 SMA. Until then, right? Until then, these, in my opinion, could still be those demand holds, right? 20 SMA hold could be nice. 407.60 hold could be nice, and that 410 hold. But under this, right? Under this 405 and under that 20 SMA, that's where maybe some pressure could come in. Maybe back down to that 402, and then obviously that 400. Okay, so that's my QQQ levels. We will see in about 9 minutes what happens here. ES. So, ES. Here we go. Hourly chart. This morning on the ES, you got a little bit of a squeeze right into that 48.40 high. Big time level up there. That's our recent high at 48.40. That's going to be the level that you need to break and hold above for upside continuation. The next level, right here, 48.30, right? That was our target yesterday for upside, 48.30. That is exactly where we went to. So 48.30, 48.30, 48.30, 48.30. And that is the exact level that we pushed into yesterday, right there, right, before seeing some reaction. So 48.30 was a very key level yesterday. Now, the ES is doing something pretty interesting this morning. Now, it doesn't mean much because you have CPI in 8 minutes, but you can see right here that the ES has broken back under that 48.30. The ES has broken back under the previous day high, which is sort of interesting. And if this does cause weakness, right, you want to watch that 48.30 as a supply level here because you can see we have fallen back below that 48.30. That's pretty interesting this morning. The pullback level that held yesterday was pretty textbook, right? If we go to the 15-minute chart and we look at that quick aggressive downside that came in yesterday, late day, right? Where did it hold? It held pretty much perfectly around this 48.05, 48.07 level, right? We got that quick aggressive downside and that quick pop right back off that 48.07 high that was created all day intraday yesterday. So we go to the 5-minute chart, you can see rejections. We finally got our squeeze and hold above. When we got that pullback, look at where we held. So what does that tell you, right? What does that tell you? If you pull back today, this could be a demand, right? This could be a demand. Back at that 48.05, 48.07 area. Very key there, okay? Back to the 30-minute chart. If we break under that 48.07 area, right, what's our next level? Our next level is right here, 47.85. 47.85, you can see right here, right there, held multiple times, previous rejections, all right? That's a key hold right in that 20 SMA area that held yesterday. So, 48.07, you probably could bring this down to honestly, you could bring it down to that whole area, right? I would probably be careful in this whole area, right? Between 4800 and 48.07. It could be this whole general zone, right? If you do get a pullback, this could be that hold area that you see, right? Previous triple top highs that you move into and hold, if that's what CPI does. Under that, you got that 47.85. Under that, here's the big one, 47.70. 47.70, 770, 770, and then bam, right? Perfect hold of that level there. All right, so those are my downside levels around this 4800, 48.07. Then you got the 47.85, right? And then you got the 47.70, right? That's the three that I'm watching right there. All right. And if we just sort of rip on CPI here today, and we just sort of send it, then you're looking for a break and hold above 48.40 for that really confident long entry, right? If we break and hold over these highs, right, and we see something like this, then that's a very confident long entry that I would be watching over 48.40. All right? We'll reassess when CPI is released in about 4 minutes. SPY. So what's the SPY doing right now, right? See this high? See that previous high right there at 477? It's like 477.50. Let's call it 477.50. What is the SPY doing right now over 477.50, which is these previous highs? Let's go to the 5-minute chart. Look at how clean that rejection was yesterday at that previous high. And look at how clean the SPY is attempting to hold that level right now. So, if the SPY holds above this 477.50, if the SPY holds above that previous high, right, and if the SPY holds above these previous highs here, right, that is going to be your catalyst. That is going to be your technical hold for more upside, likely into all-time highs, right? That'll be the move that gets you into all-time highs. Daily chart. We'll zoom out. All-time highs, 480, right? And so if we maintain right here and we rally on CPI today at this 477.50, you're likely going to all-time highs, right? That'll be your all-time high hold. If we fall back below these highs, right, and that previous high that we just talked about on that hourly, this is where things could probably move back into the 475 and then the 473. Okay? 475, 473. If you break back under that 477.50, you likely trade back down to that 475. Okay? So we got 2 minutes. We got 2,000 people in here. We did some preliminary analysis on the ES, the NASDAQ, the SPY Qs. If you could, press that like button. We're about to get the CPI numbers in about 2 minutes. Let's get the data up. Let's get ready. Don't breathe. Hold your breath. So, CPI forecast is 3.2, previous 3.1. Here comes the ads. Ancestry.com. What else ad we got? Just Ancestry? We got some comments. People really comment on this, huh? All right, so we're going to wait for that. We'll get that in a second. YouTube always has some problems. Once we get over 2,000 people, YouTube starts saying that there's problems going on. All right, we got 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Yeah, bond auction at 1 o'clock. 30-year bond auction, 1 o'clock. That'll be a big one. Damn, 2,600 people. Holy shit. A lot of people coming in. Welcome. Welcome. Here comes, welcome for the CPI action. So here's your SPY. This would be a very key hold here to push us into all-time highs. And here we go. And they're off to the races. All right. So a little bit of downside. That's nothing really that important yet. I could see that wicking straight back up. Be careful here. Let's see. A little bit of downside. So, it came in a little hot. Yeah, it came in a little hot. Came in a little bit hotter. That's interesting. So year over year, a little bit hotter than the forecast. That's likely why you're getting a little bit of downside there. 3.4 versus 3.2. I mean, it's nothing that crucial, but it is a little bit of a increase there. Higher than forecast. So that's that. So right now, reaction is to the downside. And, the month over month is up 0.3. Let me look that up 1 second. Yeah, month over month is up 0.3, okay? Forecast was up 0.2. All right, so you're definitely seeing a little bit of downside here. And so here we go, right? What are our levels to watch now? So big rejection of that 17,050 area, right? Right here, big rejection there. Okay. So you have broken under that 940. So a little bit of live analysis here for you. 16,009. Let's go 935. Okay, you're starting to break down some key levels here. And here's your next level. Let's see how this works. 16.9. Let's see if they defend 16.9 here. So 16.9, 16.9, 16.9. And it's breaking 16.9. So your next level under 16.9 is your 20 SMA on NASDAQ. But right now you can see a little bit of hope at 16.9, a little bit of battle here. Look. All right? Look at this. Okay? So you're getting a little bit of battle at 16.9. So this could be one of our key levels. That was our key level. You can see it's reacting right now. So 16.9. This is not a downside move yet that has broken anything major, right? Make sure we zoom out, right? Make sure we zoom out. So right now, 16.9, putting in a little bit of a battle there. So that's big, right? That's big right there. 16.9. Let's go to the Qs. Okay. Can't make that up. We just talked about this level. 407.60, right? That's pretty textbook. Okay, so 407.60 Qs. 16.9 NAS. We had those levels. That was perfect. ES. Yep. Okay. ES in our demand. So ES demand, right? That was our demand zone. You can see it's trying to hold right now. SPY, yep, 475. All right. So we have our level, right? We have just confirmed. Now we have to watch how it reacts. But this is key, right? This is something that's key now today, right? This is what you need to be aware of today now. If the SPY does bounce off this 475, you do need to still be cautious of that rejection, right? If we are trading under this SPY 477.50, right, we do need to be sort of cautious of that retest and rejection of that 477.50, okay? We do need to be sort of cautious there. But for now, we can see that demand is holding. ES, demand is holding. Right, 4,800. But again, right, if we bounce back higher, you are bouncing back into some supplies to be cautious of, right? 48.30, 48.40, some levels to be cautious of above. NASDAQ, that's a pretty key NASDAQ level that's rejecting. You can see right here, that's 17,050. So if you do bounce back into that, cautious up there, right? If you do bounce back up into that 1750, 1740, 1750, cautious into that. And then QQQ, probably all about 410 here, right? All about 4010. All right, so here's your levels. Here's what you're watching. QQQ, if you bounce into 410, cautious there. Demand is down below at 407.60. You can see the demand that's holding right now. All right, that's that. Let's go IWM. So IWM on the CPI print is still rejecting this previous high or this previous low around this 197 level. So you guys know I've been trying to catch this thing, right? But it's really just not doing anything. You know I've been trying to catch this bear flag. I've been able to stay profitable in it. I took a few losses on it yesterday. But so far, right, this thing's still holding under this previous low. So that's going to be your level to watch, right? In a normal world, and I'm going to just say this because in a normal trading world, right, a world that, obviously right now, guys, you're seeing that extreme strength in the market, right? Dip buying is coming in. It's coming in hot, right? Really, really hot. Now, normally, if I would trust technical analysis, which I've tried to do this week, which has sort of burned me at some points, at least my analysis, which, maybe it's my own fault, right? I'm not blaming it on anything but myself. But in a typical technical setup, this is a very bearish move on the Russell, right? This is a previous low that you have broken and have clearly turned into a rejection point, right? In a normal trading technical setup, that is a very bearish setup on the Russell. Now, I've tried to trade this downside, and it's been extremely difficult because this thing is getting held up, right? So, all in all, right, I could be wrong in the grand scheme of things for this to actually set up, right, to the downside. Sometimes technicals just aren't really set up, and they don't work at times. But this is, in my eyes, and I think most of you would agree, that this is a pretty bearish setup on the Russell here, right? A previous low that's turned into a previous high. And so this is why I've been so hard-pressed on trying to catch this move, right? And I don't really blame myself for doing this because I'm trying to stay true to this analysis. But in my eyes, this is something to be watching still. I've tried to get some moves. The moves have been choppy as hell. I've really not getting any follow-through in this zone, so I've been sort of chopped up, which is totally okay. It's something that's going to happen, but that is still so interesting to me. That is still so interesting to me that I'm going to continue to watch, right? This 197 coming in again. But you can see, right, those demand lows are pretty damn solid, right? Those demand lows are pretty damn solid around that 193. So you're probably going to want to see that break. Yeah, Netflix yesterday was pretty awesome, Piff. Yeah, that was a nice rejection yesterday, but you had to take profits like we were talking about in the chat. That 490 or 474 level was a great take profit spot. But yeah, Netflix is moving higher today. But that was a nice little take profit yesterday. We got a little bit of our move, but again, no follow-through, not full follow-through on that one. All right, let's get into some stocks. Man, something, it's stocks go through these periods, and Tesla is definitely in one of those periods. It is in one of those just sort of dead. I don't want to call it a liquidation. It's not a liquidation, but it's definitely a selling. Something is, either I'm not gonna say things to make people hyped up, but either Elon Musk is selling shares here, some big funds are selling shares. Right, a stock does not do this unless, right, a stock does not do this when the market is going up unless there is some really, really heavy selling going on. So there is some very heavy selling going on in Tesla, right? We don't know who it is. We're not going to be able to figure that out. We'll probably figure that out when some more information is released. But there is definitely some heavy selling going on in Tesla lately. And it's the way it's moving is just so shitty, right? You know that it's not. You almost know on a daily basis that it's not going to have the strength to move higher. So again, Tesla moving lower today, really aggressively. Is it a blackout period? Okay. Yeah, I don't know all the information, guys. So I'm just hypotheticals here. Don't anything I say is just sort of hypotheticals with you. I'm talking to you like we're in the barbershop here. But we can clearly see. There is some selling going on Tesla. That demand level is definitely valid, right? We saw it step up again yesterday, right? Yesterday we stepped up at that 232, 230 area. Maybe it's me selling Tesla, yeah. And so you do need to be cautious of shorting this, right? Because if you shorted yesterday here, you got sort of squeezed out. If you shorted on the day prior, you got squeezed out. So you're at that level again. Now, I will say that if this downside pressure leads to an actual give up here on Tesla, right? If it actually gives up here and starts to break this demand, this could get pretty ugly, in my opinion. All right, if we start breaking this 230 and we start flushing under that 200 SMA, this could probably get pretty ugly, right? So I'll watch that, right? I'm definitely interested because you guys you've seen Tesla on days, if you've traded for a while, you have seen Tesla on days where it breaks key levels, like major levels, such as like the 200, such as this major demand. And yeah, it gets pretty scary out there at times. So I'm definitely going to be locked in to watch this one, but I'm not going to mess around with this area, right? This 230, 232 zone, it's going to be messy in there. You got the 200 SMA in there. There's definitely going to be some, sort of willingness to attempt to hold. But if we do get a fresh break and a really clean crack underneath, right, then this could get pretty interesting. So I would watch it, 232, 230, watch that 200 SMA. Keep an eye on this area. And we can see that Tesla is now unable to get above this 50 and this 238 level very clearly, right? It's having a very tough time moving anywhere near this 50 SMA and 238 area, right? So big watch there on Tesla, that demand low, big watch. All right, Nvidia, really not going anywhere on CPI, right? Nvidia, it's moved down slightly, but Nvidia is not doing anything. It is still extremely strong. So what do you watch on Nvidia today? Well, we can see previous high. You're trading above that high. So what are we watching? We're watching a pullback to 546, and we're watching for a hold of that. This could be a dream entry long today, right? If this sort of moves back higher, this NASDAQ ES, if that ES holds demand, if that NASDAQ sort of holds demand, right, and Nvidia starts to stay strong, a pullback to the previous day highs is a dream entry long, in my opinion. That is something I would absolutely be watching. Now, if Nvidia cracks under 546 and starts to reject, right, that could be a little bit of a sign for that downside into 540, okay? So you're really watching that 546 and that 540. You're watching for the reactions at those levels, either a nice hold here, right, or a rejection under it for that move into that 540 zone. So that's really my main watch on Nvidia. What happens at this 546 today? That is going to be big time, right? 546 is big time today. All right. You guys probably know this, but it's a good watch. Even if you're not going to trade Nvidia, it's a good watch to get a feeling on the overall market, because the NASDAQ upside, the market upside, has been fueled a lot by Nvidia, right? Very heavily over Nvidia. So if there is a time in the future where Nvidia starts to, let's say cracks under this high, starts to get a little bit weak, right? That could be a little bit of a sign of some market weakness, right? So something to watch. But if you come back down to this 546 and you start to hold it, right, that could be an interesting long entry again today. What the hell? Look at this. My computer was just listening to what I was saying and typing it in the ticker. I didn't know you could do that. Oh, it's still listening to me. Hello. Hello. What the fuck? How do I get off of that? Hello. Wow. I don't know how to get off of that. Any ideas? Text to speech. Hold on, guys. Text. Option tab. Oh my God. All right, I think I got it off. What a shit show. Command A. Oh, that's probably what it is because I'm pressing Command A. All right, and we continue. AMD. We're all doomed. All right, AMD. So AMD yesterday had a nasty rejection of that 151 level. We saw that, right? That 151 level, nasty rejection of that level, right? We got under that 150 area, that 149.70. We came back up to it this morning, and we're rejecting here now. So we're rejecting those previous highs right now in the pre-market. So hourly chart, right? What are we watching here? 30-minute chart, what are we watching here? We're watching to see what AMD does today at 147. 147, 147, 147, right? 147, 147, 147. If we pull back to that level, watch for that potential hold, okay? If we break under 147, we're moving into 145, right? That's 145. Under 145, you have space to the downside, but we'll have to see what AMD does. Right now, it seems to be wanting to hold this 147. So if you do see that pullback to 147, watch for that long, okay? If you get over this pre-market high, you're going to that 155. To be confidently long on AMD here in the sort of medium to longer term, I would want to be over 151, right? Because that 151 rejection was pretty nasty yesterday, right? Look at that selling that came in right at that 151 yesterday. So for me, I would watch this 149.70. I would watch this 151, and I would watch to see if that 147 holds his demand. All right? Microsoft, what a beast yesterday. We talked about this over 380, and this was sexual. Beautiful push over 380. We finally broke out of this consolidation. This was really nice. You're sitting at the highs around that 358.40. I'm sorry, 385.40. There's your dyslexia for you today. 385.40, 385.40, right? There's a previous high here and a previous high here, right? That's key. Now, if we go into the 5-minute chart, look at that little hold. Actually, this was more clean on the 2-minute chart yesterday, actually. If we go to the 2-minute chart, look at this hold over 380 yesterday. This was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Break, confident hold, and a push above 380. And so this actually creates a very good learning lesson here, guys, about patience and trade entries. So let me go over this really quick because we're out of time. But this could be a good little lesson for everyone watching here today. Okay, here's your little live lesson for you. And this is something we all need to improve on. It's not just me, or it's not just you. It's me as well, right? Look at the difference between the first, right, attempt number one, attempt number two, and attempt number three, right? And so which of these attempts over supply is the break and hold, the confident long entry, right? The one that requires you to stay patient, right? Because you can see we got a little bit of a pop above, but no real hold above, right? On a 2-minute time frame. We did get a pop, but we didn't get a hold. We got a pop, but no hold, right? So that you're avoiding, right, those potential rejections right there. Now this one, you got your pop, you got your continuation, right? You stayed patient and you let it sort of slide back. And you get that candle right there after being confidently above supply, right? This is where you need to let that sort of trade. Let it trade up. Let it go up. Don't feel like you're missing out. Let it go up, right? You want it to clear. You want it to push through that supply and then watch as it slowly comes back. That is a perfect example right there, right? These are two sort of wick and no holds. And then look at the perfect hold and the actual, confident sort of extended retest, creating that upside move. That's a really good example right there, and something that I would be watching. All right. Now, today, again, you got your supply highs, right, at that 385.40. If you get a same concept, right? if we get a hold above, right, like we just talked about, if you get that confident hold above, looking long, if you get the pullback to 380 would be the dream pullback, right? That would be the dream pullback. All right. Let's quickly run through some stocks because we are running out of time, but let's run through some stocks. Number 1, Apple. All right. This is speed round, so get ready. 185, 186, right? Previous highs, break and retest. Look for Apple to hold this demand today. If Apple holds this demand, it's going to continue higher. If Apple breaks below this demand, you might see some weakness. 185.80, 186 area, previous highs right here. Look at how it's trying to hold right now. That's key right there. Amazon, major highs here. 4 hour, you can see right here, major highs, major supply highs. Amazon is trading up into these wick rejections. Watch out for that today. The entry long on Amazon is a pullback to 153. So 155, right? Big supply up there. Dream entry, pullback to 153. Watch for that demand to hold again. If you just sort of get above this supply, then you're moving higher. But 153, nice entry. Watch that today. Google, breaking back under 144. That's sort of interesting, actually, because 144 is a major previous wick high right here. So watch 144 on Google. This is a big one. 144, 144. You're back under 144. Watch to see if Google rejects 144 or watch to see if it can reclaim 144. That's a big level there. Let's go to Coinbase real quick. So Coinbase got that news, that ETF news, right? But it is still in this channel, right? We are still in this channel on Coinbase. So watch out for this. You still need to be cautious of this 161 area, right? You can see those supply rejections still stepping in. So watch out for that on Coinbase. Tesla broke. Yeah, watch out for Tesla today. Meta, what an absolute monster on Meta. I would be watching for Meta to hold this little 370 area, right? You can see right here. If Meta does not hold this low right here, this could be sort of interesting, right? If it sort of rejects there, you have pretty much straight up move from yesterday. So watch this 370 on Meta. That's going to be a big watch there. The last one that I'm going to go over with you is Square, because, man, am I interested in this little Square chart. So Square, you can see these rejections here. You can see those rejections there. You can see that previous high turning into highs again. There is demand below around this 66 area to be cautious of. Now, here's what I want to show you. The last time Square made this move, right, into the exact same supply high, right here at $80.50, it pretty much died off afterwards. So I am sort of interested in a similar move here on Square. And so if the market does weaken here and I start to see some extreme weakness on Square, I am definitely interested in shorting Square back into this 55 zone, right? Look at how similar these two moves are potentially, right? And so this is definitely a watch for me on Square. If Square does break this 66 demand, right? If you get under this 66 demand, I am very interested in that continuation. So definitely watching that one. All right, guys, that's all I got. Let's get a quick NASDAQ update here. NASDAQ, oh, yeah, NASDAQ just rejected. Okay. NASDAQ just rejected. It's sort of, yeah, I mean, the actual candles, right? Look at where the actual candle closes are on the NASDAQ. They're right here at 940. See the candle closes? Where the actual solid body of the candle is? It's at 940. So that's big. We got to see what happens at that 940. If that 940 rejects, you're moving lower. ES coming down into that demand again. That's going to be a big watch today. Be careful shorting the market if the ES is above this demand. That's very important there. SPY still above that demand here at 475. That could still just be a pullback long opportunity. And the QQQ is still holding 407.60. We are still holding demands. So be careful of those demands below that we talked about. And that is all that I got for you. If you guys could, before you head out, press that like button for me. We got about 2,000 people here today at 1.2600. I wish it was CPI every day. thank you guys for all the support. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed today's live stream. I got to get the hell out of here and head over to the chat. So press that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you could, if you enjoy the video. And make it a great trading day, guys. Watch your levels. Let's get after it, man. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.